I'm Ashton Addison from EventChain for Investment Pitch Media and FinTech News Network. And today on Blockchain Interviews, we have Justin Wu, the founder of CoinState. Justin, pleasure to have you on the show today, and it's great to speak to you again.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks again for having me on here.
You're very welcome, man. Let's kick it off with an introduction of CoinState and yourself as well. Could you give an overview of CoinState and how you got involved with it?
Yeah, definitely. So CoinState is kind of I guess the best categorization is we're like a media and community company for the blockchain industry. We host conferences and events across, I guess, North America. And also too, we also help build communities and evangelism for some of the top protocols and projects out there, such as like Tezos, Hashgraph, and beyond. So we're always looking to kind of help bring people together, educate them, and kind of move the needle forward for the blockchain industry by I guess, providing a lot of value in all these different aspects, whether it be education, connections, or marketing.
That's great, Justin. And there definitely is a need for more community growth and awareness of this technology because it's just such fantastic technology. But if you're just talking about it to other people that already love it, then we're never going to be able to expand to the real world here. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, definitely. If you can build the best product, but if nobody knows about it, doesn't really matter at all because nobody's using it. And also, too, we believe that the blockchain industry needs to get outside the blockchain bubble and do the crossover into more developers or the broader industries so that we can actually get this into real mainstream use and adoption.
Awesome. And when did you first get into cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology yourself? And then how long after until you actually started CoinState?
Yeah, so I got into crypto and Bitcoin specifically about in 2013. So I heard about it, bought a few on Coinbase. Actually, my first few Bitcoins, I was buying it with cash. It was a little weird transaction as a restaurant, just buying it. But I was really fascinated by the digital currencies and being able to just own your own money without any intermediaries. And when I first started, I didn't know about blockchain as much, but as I continued to progress more into the space and really work more into the business side of blockchain about a year and a half ago, that's kind of like when I went all in the industry. But my real bump into crypto has been really, I'd say, because I was a big gamer. I played a lot of video games, and I started seeing people transact with these Bitcoins or Litecoin or Dogecoin with the dog on it to buy digital assets like video game characters, skins, and access. And so I was like, okay, cool. This is a digital currency that you can just transact and people find value in it and extract value from it. It's good. It's an interesting thing for me to take a look at because it's like video game currency back then.
Totally. Yeah,
But
I think it still is. There's a huge part of the gaming industry which are actually leading the adoption of cryptocurrencies. Wax, Worldwide Asset Exchange, which is trading in-game items and digital tokens and stuff. They actually do more volume than Binance. So it seems like it actually seems to be leading the revolution. Is there any specific technologies in gaming that you are excited for in integrating blockchain?
Yeah, well, I think that the gaming side is still very nascent. For first and foremost, a blockchain game has to be a good game first, and whether the underlying technology is Ethereum or EOS or Tron or Loom or any other platforms, that doesn't really matter to the gamer at all. So, I'm always interested in actually seeing the games that are kind of full AAA looking games before they actually go out and talk about blockchain. And so one of my favorite ones is called Blankos right now, like Blankos, and that is created by Mythical Games, and they are a full team of ex-Activision and Blizzard developers, so people that actually have experience building games. Traditionally, like Call of Duty and World of Warcraft, they're building a blockchain game now too. So we kind of need more of that, where there's actually veterans in whatever industry coming into the space and applying their knowledge to then execute something that can be usable by many and everyone.
I think at the end of the day, it really comes down to the user experience. And there's definitely a difference between having a game that's built on the blockchain or in the blockchain, and having a game that just utilizes either cryptocurrencies or non-fungible tokens as in-game assets, but the game itself isn't really bottlenecked by the limitations of blockchain technology right now and where they are. There definitely are a lot of limitations. I'm sure that people speak about at your events when people are trying to build applications on the blockchain, we're always limited by either the transaction scalability or any other limitations, right?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And there are interesting projects to help on the scalability side, but and that definitely does impact the user experience for these apps or DApps or games. But I think that in the end of the day, still it's still a question mark whether gamers truly care about digital ownership assets in the way that crypto people like it, versus, because the thing is that if the best example I like to say is that people said that, oh, if Fortnite had digital assets and trading, then I would choose that game over Fortnite. But the data has shown that that's not true, because PUBG had tradable assets. It wasn't crypto, but they allow you to still trade peer-to-peer skins and assets to other people on the Steam marketplace. And that was, data shows it's not the better game. Fortnite's just crushing it because it was a strong game first, before adding these skins and assets. The gamers, are wanting to play the core of the game first. Everything else is kind of like extra to it, so to speak. So it's interesting to see. And then I always like to dive deep into this topic just because I'm heavy in the video game industry as well as esports industry, and I'm heavy in the blockchain side. But the marrying of both, I'm still kind of finding what that connect would be, because when it comes to games, when you start having people to be able to buy assets or games in that world, but the moment that that asset has any type of benefit or value in terms of use, it becomes what the gaming industry considered pay to win, meaning anybody that's super rich can come in and just buy all the different lands, the worlds, the tanks, the vehicles, the weapons, and destroy everybody else that can't pay to win. And then that becomes, the game doesn't become a game anymore. It becomes a world that is dictated by those who have deep pockets and wallets. And so that's kind of like more like a game design issue that I'm seeing, that on the blockchain side of things, where gaming assets, if they're truly tied, then there's no benefit for the gamers on that side too. So, but I can go on and on. And there's so many other topics.
Definitely.
About that.
I know it all. At the end of the day, it's all about the user experience, right? And with pay-to-win games, if you don't have a lot of money or you don't want to spend a lot of money to pay to win, it isn't a good user experience, right? Just as if you had assets on the Ethereum blockchain and all of a sudden you switch to the EOS blockchain with the same game, it doesn't really provide an additional user experience. The people that are playing the games don't really care. It's all about the content that they're, invested in the beginning, just the core content. So if we could reference that back to your events, what kind of core content and messaging are you sending to your events so that it's not scary, it's not, you're here to learn just about blockchain. Of course, it's all about having a great time. How do you position CoinState as a community where it's like, hey, we're going to teach you the basics, or we're just here to have fun?
Yeah. So the way that I've always gone about building any type of community is to provide a no BS, no fluff, no hype, no shill content, events, and community. And that's everything true to anything that I've done in the past before, whether it be for blockchain or not blockchain. And so the type of events that we kind of run is an event like Seattle DevCon that's coming up in June here. We're looking to build an event that is both inclusive and accessible. So meaning our ticket prices is going to be really, really not even covering costs. Like, we're going to make it fully community sponsored. It's just there to really help us help cover some of the costs, but it's going to be, don't quote me, but like anywhere in like $10-$20 range for tickets, which is 10 times or less cheaper than all these other conferences out there, because we're not a event marketing company and we're not for profit for the event side. We make all our money through working and consulting with other companies, and we're happy with that. And on the community side, though, we've been seeing so much other conferences and events where they're just a full for-profit event, which, I'm not hating for profit at all. I mean, we're all trying to make money here, but you'll see that both in the price, the lineup, the sponsors and the shills, everybody is just kind of like there for to try to milk and shell the shovels instead of building the actual foundations for the community. And so what does high ticket price do? One, it alienates the early learners, because they do not want to pay money. Like, they don't have the financial or crypto balling cash to buy the $1,000 or $2,000 ticket. Two, the blockchain curious, let's say like the developers that are working for Microsoft and Amazon, in the current bear market, they don't really fully believe in blockchain. Why are they going to go spend even $100 to an event that they don't really fully believe in, right? And so we want to just eliminate that barrier and have them all come together in a meeting spot. And then on the event side, that's where it's our duty to have both beginner and advanced level tracks so that we can hit both sides of the worlds, because that's the only way that we can really hit more mass adoption, is by getting more people in the door and making this technology or these technologies not a mystery and not a big black box and anonymous and all the drug Silk Road level knowledge, right? We need to educate them on that space and how to onboard them, all the way to the advanced level, where how we can facilitate more connections and advanced level topics about this technology so people can go out and learn. So that's kind of like the way that we've gone about our events.
That's great, Justin. And yeah, I truly believe that as well.
Sorry.
Bless you. And so with the events, you really, and you mentioned that you guys are doing a DevCon event, you really do need more developer-focused, community-focused events, because we can have an event to showcase some projects where people are coming to learn or to either play a game that's using blockchain technology or to learn about other applications. But there will only be so many applications if there aren't any more developers that are learning about the underlying technology to build those new applications. There's not going to be much to choose from.
Definitely. And even though we call it DevCon, like we're still going to have a non-technical track as well too, because we always believe that side is also important too. For us, in the spirit of just focus though, in terms of the speakers and the technology side, like we wanted to call it a DevCon so that we can focus on the actual technology and platform side to then attract more builders, which is what we need to continue forward. So that's kind of like the theme of what we're going for our event.
Yeah. And normally we talk about some financial metrics on our interviews here. In terms of your events, the applications that you guys showcase or are discussing, do people focus on, how is this actually going to become a sustainable business? Because to a certain endpoint, when you're building an application, it's great to spend all the time and money to build something great, but if you make it very developer focused and you don't have a sustainable business model, then it will die in the short term because of lack of funding, or the founders need to pay the rent and eat. So how much is focused on the actual business of how to integrate blockchain but actually use it in a business setting?
Well, I think that on the business side, like we do have conversations in a full track about the business side of blockchain, and I think it's very, very important. And I think that because we are inviting a lot of the developers and protocols, I think that the people on the business side should be talking to the developers and the protocol side to then understand how they can actually fully implement this into their business and enterprises. So, like for what's interesting about Seattle specifically is that we do have a lot of enterprise C-level execs and Boeing, Amazon, Microsoft, etc., involved in the blockchain space and building blockchain right now. And I think that this is a perfect moment where even if you're on the business side, you have to understand what's going on the actual platforms itself to then bring back to whether you can use this as a business function or not in whatever industry. And so that's kind of like the focus, where it's not about just the projects too. Like we've invited on the protocol level, like the actual operating systems of these different systems out there to have these conversations and come meet and talk with the people in the community.
Definitely. I completely agree with that, Justin. And I understand what you're saying in terms of you need to understand the technology. Otherwise, you're really just a salesman that's selling all of the top buzzwords like blockchain, AI. You can just add those all in a sentence. But if you don't really understand, because it does provide actual value into these applications, but if you really need to understand how it's providing that value.
Yeah, exactly. And you'll find that these developers and protocols are wanting to get more adoption and integrations. So they'll work hand in hand with you to find and test those proof of concepts and ideas out there. So that's where we want to kind of mix those conversations in together to facilitate that and make that happen.
Wonderful. And tell us a little bit more about what upcoming events you have. I know there's a lot of people that are starting to get interested in the space again. There's a little life in everybody that's starting to burn bright, and I'm excited to come to some more CoinState events. So what's coming up for CoinState?
Yeah, so Seattle's not just our only location that we did. Seattle is just where I'm born and raised in, and is our largest event by far. But we also have events in Phoenix, Arizona, Los Angeles, San Francisco in Q3, and then hopefully soon up in Vancouver too with you, Ashton. We want to continue to kind of spread the knowledge and build these little, different groups and communities across different cities, and also just connect them all together in one site. So we are building kind of like a CoinState platform where you can go and chat with other people within different cities and connections as well too. So we're looking to help facilitate those transactions in terms of like communication and value trade.
Amazing. And how can people get involved with CoinState, speak to you, learn more, or just learn more about the events?
Yeah, you can go to coinstate.com or reach out to me at justin@coinstate.com. Always accessible. Find me on Twitter or LinkedIn. I'm always looking to collaborate with others and grow this space together.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Justin Wu, founder of CoinState. It's been a pleasure speaking to you. I'm looking forward to your upcoming events and to get more people involved in the blockchain community. And thank you for your time today for the interview.
Awesome. Thanks again.